I was a hustler. I was up night and day. I remember being up until 5 o'clock in the morning, sending out emails, sending out messages on Instagram. Like, use social media platform for your benefit. Contact everybody and anybody. Don't think you're better than anyone else. You are just starting out. You need to make your connections. You got to work your ass off. If you're not working your ass off, somebody else is.
Welcome to the Business of Beauty podcast, where we talk money with people who work in beauty-based industries. Today, I am joined with Tatiyana Elias, Los Angeles-based makeup artist and philanthropist. Welcome to the podcast, Tatiyana.
Thank you. I can't believe I'm here.
Welcome. I'm so happy you're here.
Like, everything has came full circle for us for
Yes.
like when we started, working with each other or just meeting.
Exactly.
And now we're here.
I was thinking of the first photo shoot we ever did together. I think it was that one in the blue little lingerie thing.
Yeah. In that downtown studio with the bed.
Yep.
That I don't think is no longer there.
That sounds worse than it is. It was a really classy, beautiful shoot.
It was classy.
And we've also done a shoot right here in this room that we're in right now, which is so cool. So,
yes.
As you said, full circle. And thank you for coming on.
Of course. Anytime.
So let's jump all the way to the beginning.
Okay.
I would love to hear about your childhood. I know you're from Glendale, California, pretty local. What was your upbringing like, and how did you kind of first discover that you might have an interest in doing makeup?
So this is kind of funny because I started, basically my love for makeup and hair started really young. And I was raised by a single mom. So I really knew that I wanted to do makeup and hair. And I was cutting my Barbie doll hairs, and I was putting makeup on myself, putting makeup on my cousins or my sister, and I just jumped right into it. And so my mom wanted me to have more stability financially, and she didn't want me to do this at all. Not saying that she wasn't supportive, because she's my number one supporter, but she was just like, go become a dentist, go become a doctor. They're financially well. And I don't like to say no to my mom. I'm such a sucker. Like, my mom is my everything. So I went and I volunteered at my dentist office for 15 hours. And let me tell you, that ain't for me.
You were like, no, that's it.
I was like, no.
Not doing that.
Yeah. No way. I can't look down people's mouths all day. Granted that is an art in its own. But I cannot be a dentist. I cannot be a doctor. Like, I know what I love to do, and that was creating art, So I jumped into cosmetology school, and then I went to makeup school, and then I said, that's it. I'm doing this. And I jumped into the industry without knowing anyone.
Wow.
Like, no one. So I was like, I got to do this one way or another. I'm going to have to make it happen. And it just happened.
Oh, amazing. I feel like a lot of people get into makeup a lot later in life. It's unique that you fell in love with it so early. Were you the kind of girl who was like wearing makeup in middle school and like doing full glam to all your like little girl sleepover parties, whatever little girls do?
Not at all.
No.
Not at all. Like, my everyday, I wear just mascara, or I just curl my lashes. Like, I don't always wear a lot of makeup. Also, having a skin condition, it's affected that. But when I was younger, no. The only time I'd really go like balls out with my makeup would be at, like, if I'm going to a party, and I would do like some crazy winged like eyeshadow looks, and I was just playing around and experimenting. And sometimes I look at photos, I was like, what the hell was I thinking?
Oh my gosh.
But I look back and I was like, that was my art back then, And I never felt like I always had to wear a lot of makeup, but I knew I loved it.
Yeah.
So that was it.
So when did you first do makeup on somebody else?
Starting on like my sister or my cousin.
Yeah.
So I started on them, and thankfully my cousin trusted me, and my sister trusted me, and my aunt trusted me, and my mom trusted me. So they would just let me do their makeup. So that was the first time I did makeup on somebody else. But work-wise, it was basically in like cosmetology school or makeup school, So that's when you really start to practice on people with different skin tones and, different textures and all that, undertones. And it's just, that was then.
Yeah.
Looking back, I feel so old.
What?
That was like 10 years ago.
I know. I started modeling 10 years ago too. I feel like a granny in this industry myself.
You definitely don't look like it, girl. You look
Thank
good.
you. So this is kind of a finance and business podcast. So I have to ask, what would you say is like the base cost to become a makeup artist and be taken seriously, like have a proper kit and actually start getting clients? How much do you have to invest in products, brushes, whatever else you need?
Okay, this is kind of difficult because everyone has a different, price range, but like, I don't want to be like, you have to spend $5,000 or $10,000 because what my kit is now is kind of crazy expensive to what, it was from when I started. So I think if you can invest, max $1,000, you don't have to get the best of the best of the best products. I would say skincare is a good investment. You have the right, serums or even moisturizer and a toner. That's great. Start off with that. Get a few foundation colors, learn how to make foundation colors. Don't just buy every single one. This is an art form. You got to know your primary colors. You got to understand undertones. So you don't necessarily need everything. So I would say if you can start off with a few $100 to $1,000, that would be great because you do need sanitation products as well. You want to have multiple brushes. You want to have multiple sponges. Those things you should be spending your money on. The things that you have to really sanitize, have alcohol, have makeup sanitizer, have anything that you can clean these products with, because that's where a lot of your money should go, because you don't want to have anyone come back and say, you gave me pink eye. That's going to cost you. You can get sued. So basically, I would say spend more on quality than quantity. So I would say a few $100 to $1,000.
Okay. Yeah. That's not as bad as I thought because, you just see these makeup kits that are so elaborate. They have everything you could ever dream of. And like you said, I never really thought about that, but mixing different foundations to get the perfect foundation color. I thought a makeup artist would have to have every single skin tone out there covered in their kit, but I guess you can kind of craft it to be.
You can. Yeah, you mix the blues, the greens, the yellows into the foundation and you get the tone that you need. Granted, I'm not saying only have 2 colors. No, great, have 5 colors, max 6 colors. If you know color theory, you can make your own foundations. So study that. You're going to save so much more money understanding color theory. And as a makeup artist, I think you should know that. Color is our whole career.
Well, that's very interesting. Yeah. So if you want to spend less money, save money to get started, study and learn as much as you can about color theory. Very interesting.
Yeah.
So you mentioned cheap products versus quality products. What is like one thing in your kit that is priced more affordably, but is, maybe better in your opinion than the more expensive stuff?
Okay. I'll tell you this. It's about mascara. I love the Christian Dior waterproof mascara, but when I'm not using that, I'm using what's that black one with the gold tip? I always forget. It's a very popular one.
Yeah, from the L'Oreal.
L'Oreal. Yeah. So instead of using the Christian Dior one, I use the L'Oreal one as well. They're both waterproof. They're both black as black mascara. And those two, I will combine them at the same level. So I would say if you don't want to get the Christian Dior one, if you can't afford that, then get the L'Oreal one. I really focus on the product and I like when the mascara is really, dark colored. I don't like a grayish black. I like a black or a brown. So it just depends on what look I'm going for. And that's why I'm like, it's either the L'Oreal or the Christian Dior because damn, they work so good. Wow. They work really good. And a little tip of mine that I like to tell people, which don't blame me if you do it wrong, okay? But once you let your mascara dry, go in and curl it one more time and you're going to see those suckers pop up. So, but don't blame me if you get hurt, okay?
If you get hurt?
Yeah, don't blame me.
Use with caution.
Use with caution.
No, but that's awesome. Yeah, because you always think to curl it before, but that's because it already has some grip on there. So
yeah, so I curl it before. This is how I do mine. I curl it before. I put the mascara on. I let it sit. I let it dry. I do other parts of my face, and then I go in and curl it one more time. It's my little secret. I like the eyes to be really open.
I need you to share one more secret with me. Which is what I struggle with so much still to this day. And I've sat in the makeup chair a million times, still can't figure out.
Can I guess?
Yeah, sure.
Is it liner?
No, it's
Is it
in the
less?
mascara range.
Oh, okay.
Yes. But it's more of a cleanup situation. When I have already worked so hard on my eyeshadow and then I get mascara
Got
on
it.
it and everyone says, let it dry and then flake it off or whatever, it still smears. So what's the secret, please?
The secret is there's two things. You can use a small little card, put it behind your lashes, then do the mascara. Or there's now a tool. It's kind of like this flimsy plastic that you hold, and it's kind of in a U shape to shape the eye, and then you go in and put in your mascara. So it's not going to get on your eyeshadow, it's going to get on that plastic that you could easily wipe off. So that's my little secret. Or when I'm doing makeup on somebody, I put my thumb behind their lash and I do the mascara. So the mascara is going to get on my thumb.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a great trick. Because, yeah, when people say let it dry and scrape it off, it still doesn't work. So, not even letting it get on there in the first place. Genius. We love it. So, let's talk about test shoots, which are very important in the, early days of modeling and makeup artistry, I'm
Yes.
sure. How much time do you have to invest as a makeup artist early on to like develop your portfolio? What does that process look like before you can actually send yourself out to clients or maybe get an agent and start being taken more seriously?
When you first start, don't even think about an agent. Don't rush into an agency. Don't think that's your end all be all. So when you're first starting, you got to take everything. I never say no. Like I won't say no. I'm endlessly working. Now I'm to the point where I can say no, or I send it out to my assistants if I, if I know I have too many things of that in my portfolio, I will give it out to my assistants because I want them to grow and I want them to succeed. So when you're first starting out, never say no to anything. Don't think you're above everybody else. Don't think you have the best skills ever, because there's always something you need to learn. You need to see how makeup looks on camera in different lighting, on different tones of skin, on different textures. So always say yes. You need to invest 99% of your time on practicing and building your skills. So never say no to a test shoot. Yeah.
So when you're first starting out and, well, I'll start with this. Did you have a side hustle or a
No.
kind of more stable job when you were first starting out and had that fluctuating schedule? No, you just dove right
This
in.
was my end all be all.
Yeah.
That was it.
So early on, when you're taking all of those test shoots that aren't necessarily paying, or maybe they're model tests and they're paying little, how did you stay afloat during that process?
It was difficult. I thankfully had somebody who showed me like an app I can work for. And thankfully, it was very minimal makeup. And I would do that. And I was lucky to start so young doing makeup that my hand was already used to it. And I was pretty good at it by the time I actually started, my career. So because all the time that I was in cosmetology school and makeup school, I was practicing nonstop. So it was during school hours, during at home hours, during school hours, during at home. It was like my life. I made it my life because I knew the moment I start, I have to make money. There's no other way. I was raised by a single mom. I can't just depend on my mom. Financially, she's not in the most perfect place. So it's not easy, raising two kids on your own without any help. So I had no choice but to make this work for me, and I was hustling my ass off. Like any money that I can make, I was saving it. I was putting it aside. Okay, I got to get this product. I got to do this. I got to do this. Maybe I can reach out to this company that's smaller and see if they'll send me product for me to post it on Instagram. So I was trying to leverage certain things that I was doing for my benefit. But it was not easy. Don't think that I didn't struggle. I had months where I was crying, like, how the hell did I only make $300 this month? How the hell did I only make $100 this month? It was really difficult. And there were so many times where I wanted to give up. And thankfully, I had a strong support system behind me. They were like, you worked this hard for what? You went into debt for what? So it was difficult. It wasn't easy. You have to really hustle. Freelance life isn't for everybody. Sometimes if you're more comfortable in a 9 to 5 and, you'll succeed at that, do that. Work, what's the word? Work on your strengths, play on your strengths. If you can handle hustler life, go to your 9 to 5 and after hours work on your, entrepreneurship.
Yeah.
If you need that stability at first, then do what you have to do, then come home and work on this. work at Freelancer Life. So by the time you have built a way for money to come in, you can stop your 9 to 5. You know, it's not easy. You can't just jump into it the way I did, because it was reckless. It was really reckless. I was crying so much. I remember I worked all day long, used all my products when I wasn't even supposed to, because I was an assistant. And oh, I'll never forget this. And I was tired. I was drained. It was for a big company. And at the end of the day, I asked the person, like, hey, can I use these photos? You know, since I used my makeup and basically their face is showing when, you know, that's a big part of this photo shoot. They looked at me and they said no. And they paid me $100. So not only could I not use the photos, not only was I only worth $100 to them, and not only did I do the main work that they were supposed to do, I had to go home and look at this old car that I'm driving, and I'm just like, is this going to be my life? Is this what I'm worth, you know, to people? Like, I work my ass off this much, and this is what it's going to be. And so that taught me a big lesson, where you have to start from the bottom, and you can't let this discourage you. No matter how much you're making at that time, you could be making $0, but at some point that's going to turn into something more. The older I got, the more friends I made, then you start to make those connections. Then you start to have people say your names in rooms you haven't stepped in yet. But those are people who have a good heart, and you don't always come by those people in an industry like this. So
yeah, those early days are obviously really hard. And before you got an agent, you said you recommend people don't get agents when they're first starting out.
You can't even qualify for an agent.
Yeah, exactly. So what do you do when you are being your own accountant, your own lawyer, your own agent? Mm-hmm. How do you track down a payment or like that when you feel like you've been cheated? Do you just stomach that and say, okay, on to the next? Or do you track that down? Do you fight for your wages?
So when you're starting out as an assistant, now it's not what it used to be. I had, you know, not the best experiences, and I've had amazing experiences. You know, I've been grateful for the people I've got to assist, because I learned a lot. And I've also had, you know, good experiences with a lot of them.
So you were an assistant first?
Oh, yes.
And people should do that.
People should always become an assistant first. If you know nobody in the industry, become an assistant.
Okay.
That's one advice I'm going to give you that I hope everyone will follow if they want to become like a freelance makeup artist. Go assist. Don't be afraid to contact anybody. I was a hustler. I was up night and day. I remember being up until 5 o'clock in the morning, sending out emails, sending out messages on Instagram. Like, use social media platform for your benefit. Contact everybody and anybody. Don't think you're better than anyone else. You are just starting out. You need to make your connections. You got to work your ass off. If you're not working your ass off, somebody else is. When I was assisting, I actually didn't expect any payment. But sometimes it happened. And then sometimes you would look at it, you're like, I did all this for this little money. And that's when it hits you. And there was times I was crying in my car, but those moments made me to who I am now. But now that, you know, I'm making more money, and I was dealing with, you know, tracking this money on my own before I got an agent, I had a system where I would write down everything that was owed to me. When I did these jobs, and I get, you know, you either have net 30, 60, 90, and you would kind of see when, you know, you would talk about when the payment is going to come in. Now, I had a payment that took a year to get to me, which was absolutely ridiculous. So you constantly have to be checking that list, you know, make an Excel sheet, you know, put who owes you what and who has paid. You have to write all these invoices, and you track down each one. So I would say every week, look at it, see who's paid you, see who hasn't paid you, keep up with that. Don't be afraid to ask, you know, you don't want a whole year to go by and, you know, this payment still hasn't been made. So I was always on top of who had to pay me and when they had to pay me. Yeah. So that was kind of difficult, because speaking about money wasn't my strongest suit.
And that's what's so difficult is I deal with the same issues, and we're supposed to be the happy, like, show up, do our job, you know, either you're the talent or the makeup artist, and that's your job. And then you have to hound these people for money. And all of a sudden you have crossed that line. And I have had to burn some bridges doing that. And
you have to be okay with that.
Yeah.
Because so what I've learned when I'm in boss mode, a lot of people don't like me. And I realized I don't care to be liked. I care to be respected. If you don't respect my job and my career, just because you thought that I'm going to be a pushover and allow you to get away with not paying me, it's not going to work out. Nor do I want that energy in my life. Nor do I want to work with people like that. So you have to be okay with not everyone always liking you because you're putting your foot down. There is a way to go about things. Like, you don't go about it in a harsh way. You don't disrespect anybody, but there's times where you have to be in boss mode. And you have to say, we have a contract. You are not fulfilling the contract, and therefore now you will be charged X amount of money every single day that goes on that you do not pay me. And that's that.
Yeah.
It is what it is. And I've realized, thankfully now I have an agent who can be the bad guy, but so many people that I worked with did not like that side. And that's okay, because you have to be willing to stand for what you believe in and what your worth is. So if you agreed on X amount of money, if we agreed that my day rate is $1,500 today and you are going to pay me in 2 weeks, and the contract says you will pay me in 2 weeks, and every day that passes that you don't pay me is now added $5, then I'm going to follow through with that contract, whether you thought we had a friendship, because business is business. It's not personal. Mm-hmm. So when you're dealing with things on your own, you better block off the two. You better not get those two confused in business.
Of course, yeah.
And that's, a lot of people make that mistake. You can't let the two always collide. When it comes to money, that's that. It's exactly. Business.
And there's a contract in place, which is very important to do as well. Make sure that you have that in writing at least, you know.
Everything is in writing.
Yeah.
I had to learn that the hard way.
So you said you just threw in a little $1,500 a day. Mm-hmm. Now, you don't have to reveal your exact rates, but what's like an average day rate for a makeup artist?
So
a good one like yourself.
I know what you're doing there. So I'm going to tell you this. I'm not the highest, makeup artist here based in LA or Beverly Hills. I don't charge the most of the most, and I don't charge the least of the least. Fashion, let's just say like magazines, you don't make much money on. Practically you make no money. I think the most I ever got paid for a magazine was only $250.
I think me too.
Yeah. You don't really make money on magazines. But the most money that I make are my like personal clients, my celebrity clients, or like campaigns, with brands or companies that I do. My favorite thing is I love working on commercials, and I love working on like campaigns. So on La Cienega, I've actually had 3 billboards.
Oh, wow.
Here. Amazing. But guess what? Those 3 billboards didn't pay me what I should have been paid.
Because it's exposure or whatever.
And at that time, I was so young, and, I wanted to get my name out there, and those things, help my career. But now where I'm at, that doesn't matter to me anymore. I don't care about the exposure. I care about, this is my art. This is my craft. I've spent so many years in the making of doing this, and I've built up this portfolio. You now have to pay me what I'm worth. Right. What I'm worth may be more to others. And I've realized I'm actually not charging as much as I could be. But my day rate always changes depending on the job.
Yeah.
When you're at that point in your career where you start booking all these brands, don't get too excited. I know the paycheck is nice, but this industry is up and down. You can work for 5 days and make what people make in a month, but doesn't mean you're going to get that next month. So you can't always feel content. I think that hustle always has to stay in you, because there's months where I made a significant amount of money and I'm like, this is freaking amazing. Yeah. And then the next month you're like, wow, it was dead.
So how do you financially plan for those ups and downs? That's something that even now, to be honest, I struggle with. So what is your secret to making sure that you're going to be okay every month with all the ups and downs?
My financial advisor.
Oh, that's
because I'm very bad at it.
Yeah.
So
know your strengths, as you said.
Yeah, you got to play on your strengths. And I know what I'm good at and I know what I'm bad at. And basically, trying to, see how much I'm spending, how many things, how much is coming in versus going out. I had to learn the hard way. And it's something that I'm still trying to learn and to be better at, because coming from like nothing, when you have money coming in, you tend to just spend it. Like you don't have that feeling of, no, I can't do it anymore. Now you have that feeling, I can do it. I'm going to do it. I want to feel like what I missed out on my childhood. So I have to reteach myself to be a little bit more frugal and save more money, because I don't know what my months are going to be like. So therefore I had to get me a financial advisor, which he's the best thing ever.
Let me get his contact later.
Yes, please. He's in Glendale. Come to my hood.
Yes.
He's great. And we sat down and we broke down everything. Because when I was filing taxes, I was just like, wow, this is like how much I made? Like, really?
Happily surprised with it.
Yeah, I was happily surprised. But then I was like, where is it?
Yeah. Especially living in Los Angeles, a lot comes in and a lot goes out.
The moment I step out my door already, I spent $100.
Yeah.
So he taught me a lot, and he made me realize just as much as I'm making as I'm spending, which is absolutely ridiculous. Because when you're filing those taxes and you see this amount of money, you're like, where is it? So I know my strengths and I know my weaknesses, and spending is very bad for me. Like I do it a lot.
Yeah.
But I'm learning to be better.
So I want to get into some more juicy makeup artist stories, but first I want to touch on your charity, your foundation. Congratulations on that.
Thank you so much.
You mentioned that you were raised by a single mother yourself. So please just intro me to your charity. Tell everyone about it who's never heard of it, and why maybe your upbringing made you want to do something like this.
Yeah, so like I said, I was raised by a single mom, and we struggled a lot. I don't know if she would want me to share this, but I remember one day we got our car repossessed. Is that the word? Towed? What is it when they take back your car?
I think repossessed.
And I was just crying and crying and crying because I didn't understand what was going on. And she would always be like, it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. And in my heart, I knew she was sad, but she always kept it so strong for us. And when I was in high school, or, I was young, and I decided to volunteer at a shelter called Essentia. And when I went there, I felt like this is what I have to do. I'm meant to be put on this earth to help people. So it took me from like 18 to now 27 to finally get it going. I finally got the charity going. I made the website. I came up with the name, which is Durga Foundation, which is like an Indian goddess. She represents motherhood, and basically what my foundation is about, which is helping single mothers and children. So I finally got the money processor up and going, 2 days ago, which is a big step, Thank you so much. It took a lot out of me. I don't feel like it's real because I still haven't done anything major with it yet. But I know my goals for it, and what I want to do is help single mothers and just give them anything that they need, whether it's therapy, schooling for their children, a car, financial help, getting them into housing. So I'm basically going to be acting as a funnel for these single mothers.
Wow, that's beautiful.
Thank you.
And is this a one-woman show as of right now?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
I'm doing this all by myself. So I have to,
if anyone can do it, it's you.
Listen, I'm trying my best. I do have a unhealthy hustler mentality where it's around the clock for me, and I've had to try to learn balance with work and life, but I still haven't. But I also think that is why I am who I am and why I have done things that I have done in this lifetime at such a young age, because I keep going, and anything else is noise to me. And I just try to hustle and work harder and smarter and just keep going no matter what comes into my way. So all that pain from the past, all the times where I felt like I wasn't succeeding or wouldn't amount to anything, is my fuel. And that's what everyone has to take, that sadness, that anger, and turn it into motivation.
I love that. That's really beautiful. Yeah, I can't wait to see where that goes.
Thank you.
So fantastic. And I saw that you have your artist little clothing line.
Yes.
Are you going to make a little line for the charity? Because I'm like, that could be a fun little tie together.
I was thinking about it, but Thankfully, you know, in my makeup business, I have assistants, but I don't have an assistant for like a full-time, you know, job. And handling my makeup career, handling the foundation, and handling everything else that goes into it, even though I have an agent, and just putting my name out there is a lot. Like it's not easy starting a company. So it was very difficult.
You own 2 companies.
Yeah.
Or like 3 companies, basically.
Well, you know, thankfully I've combined Lasai, my clothing brand, within the makeup industry because that's targeted for makeup artists. So, you know, it's not too difficult. That one is, I'm going to tell you like my little secrets. That one is drop shipping. So, you know, we're a business, you know, podcast over here. So,
Yes.
you know, if you have already like a fan base or you want to start something, why not start off with drop shipping? I personally cannot handle inventory. I have so much going on. There would be no way that I can handle it. So I decided to do drop shipping. I created this artist line, you know, I call it Lasai. It means tranquil and Basque because I just feel like that's where I always want my head to be. I just want to be at a calm, peaceful place. And I feel like art is peaceful in its own, no matter how crazy it is. So I decided to do drop shipping. I created this line for artists. I have the little artist hat and the, you know, crop tops and the sweaters. But I was also thinking to do something for the charity. The only thing is I already take money from my makeup business and invest it into the charity side. So I already have money coming in from my, you know, from what I do for a living. Right. So I don't think I want to sell products. I would rather have people just donate to my charity.
2 really quick things about what you just mentioned. For people who don't know about drop shipping is where you design your product in web form, people place their order, and then the company prints it and ships it.
Yes.
Which is longer shipping times, right?
Yes,
because they have to print it and all that stuff, but you don't have to pay for product up front and you don't have to store it anywhere, correct?
Yes.
Okay, lovely.
You only pay for it basically when somebody buys something. So you have to make sure you have money in your account, you know, for them to charge you for it to be made. And then your profits go to your account. Mine isn't at a high profit margin at all. I try to keep things at minimal cost, but also if people do buy from Lasai, that full money from Lasai is going to the charity. And then when people hire me as a makeup artist, a portion of that profit is going to go to the charity. Well, is going already to the charity as well. So sometimes when I have my private clients, I'll send them 2 receipts, basically one that they paid me, Tatiyana Elias, as their makeup artist, but also their tax deductible form from Durga Foundation.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is so awesome.
And a lot of them don't even know.
Yeah.
They don't, they just get, you know, 2 receipts and they're like, wow, we just helped somebody. But I think I need to make it more known that all that, you know, some money is going to help, you know, a good cause.
Yes, absolutely. I think people would be, I mean, who doesn't want to hire you in the first place? But it would be even just an extra bonus on top of it. I mean, that's amazing. So obviously starting something completely from scratch by yourself, it's going to be very hard to get the word out, just like anything. I don't know how I'm going to advertise this podcast. What are your strategies to get the word out about a brand new I say company, but nonprofit organization. I don't know.
Yes.
What the
Yeah,
correct
you're
word is.
right. Nonprofit
What are the strategies
organization.
you have to get the word out about that? Is it social media or what's the secret?
It's basically my connections and social media, and make sure you have your SEO right on Google and your website. But because I'm in so many different networking groups, they're willing to help me push out my foundation and my charity, and they're willing to advertise it for me. So I go back to contact everybody when you're first starting out, anything, whether it's makeup, whether it's a business, whether it's a charity, just put yourself out there and don't be afraid of rejection, because you never know who's going to say yes. So my way is you advertise on every single platform possible. That's it.
How about this one? Tell us where everyone can find your foundation and maybe where they can donate if that's available yet. Let us know.
So to donate, it will be available starting tomorrow or the next day, but this might be out in a few weeks from now. So by the time this is out, you'll be able to donate. The only problem I'm having is there's actually another Durga Foundation So that's popping up first on Google and not mine. So I'm trying to fix that. Mine is durga.foundation. That's all you type into Google and it comes up. So you can donate there. You can find me anywhere on social media. And if you just Google my name on Google, a billion things will pop up, which is Tatiyana Elias. But you can find me on Instagram. You can find me on Facebook. You can find me on TikTok.
And what are your handles? Tatiyana?
At Tatiyana Elias.
Oh, no.
No makeup.
No
It's
makeup.
just at Tatiyana. Everything is under my name. Every, all the businesses, it's all under Tatiyana Elias because I think of myself as a brand.
Yes, as you should. Love that. The whole package.
Thank you.
All right. I am going to transition back to the makeup talk.
Yes.
I've been a model for 10 years. In my 10 years, I think I have worked with on set one really nasty, kind of rude model. One girl. And I have worked with hundreds and hundreds. I've lived with girls from all around the world. And I've met one who is really just nasty. Models get a bad rap, I'd say.
Yeah, they do.
So from a makeup artist perspective, have you been able to make some model friends? Do you think that models are kinder than people make them out to be? Or have you just had a lot of, annoying girls and all the stereotypes are true? What's your perspective?
So I don't think what they say about models are true. I believe a lot of them are nice. Come on, look at you. Like we've built a friendship over the years. Yeah. We support each other. But I've had my moments, where whoever was sitting in my chair was absolutely disrespectful. Very rude, would not care that I need them to look up or down. They're just so focused into their phone. I had someone, smoking weed in my face, which is it's fine. I don't care what you do personally. Get your high on, woohoo,
On the job and while you're getting your makeup
granted,
done.
this person was allowed to because of their status and who they are. But I was getting high while I'm working on them. So I'm oh my God, I don't want to mess this makeup look up, I'm very sensitive to weed. So again, I know my strengths and weaknesses.
Yes.
Got to do that when I'm home without working.
Moral of this podcast.
Yeah,
your
yeah.
strengths and weaknesses.
Yes, yeah. I would do that at home when I'm not working because
Yes.
then I'm going to probably fall asleep or get way too energetic and probably put liner all the way up to their eyebrow. So, that wasn't a bad experience, but I've had people who don't care that I'm working. And I think to me that shows a lot about a person's or model's or a musician's, attitude towards me. It shows them that they just look at me as someone who's doing a service for them and that I'm beneath them without any respect towards my craft or me. I've had models who are just sit there, give me attitude, won't even say hi, won't acknowledge me, just get the job done and get the hell out of my chair.
What about models who fix their makeup after you've completed a look? Have you experienced that?
Yeah,
because I know girls who do that every single time they get their makeup done.
A lot, and I don't feel like it's right.
It's not that's not their job.
It's not their job, and I get it if I were to be a bad makeup artist, but I know I am not. I know my strength. See, yes. We're going back to that. But I know what the look is called for. If the look is called for a neutral lip, you can't go into the bathroom and make it corally. That's going to fall back on me. And I'm going to be that's not the look that I did. This person is going into the, bathroom and doing these things to her makeup and I have no control over that. Nor can I go up to her and be listen, girl, don't do that ever again. Because that's not my attitude. I would just go up to the, whoever is the highest person there and be look, something's not clicking here. She's not allowing me to do my job. You're going to have to speak to her about it because I can't keep rushing back and forth and wiping off whatever she does and putting this color back on. Mm-hmm. So I've had people do that. I've had models just kind of tell me their eyelashes can't come off, even though it's a strip, lash, because they are so comfortable with that look, but the look isn't calling for it. So yeah, I've had to deal with that as well.
So one of the pretty cool clients you've gotten to work with, in my humble opinion as a fan myself, is Selling Sunset.
Yes.
So yeah. Tell us what you did on that show. On your Instagram post, I think it said touch-ups and grooming.
Yes.
When I heard grooming, I thought, are you working on Jason and Brett? Give us the rundown.
Wait, those are the twins, correct?
You don't even know?
No, I'm so bad. Okay, there's so many times that I work on a celebrity or somebody I just worked on a DJ and people were messaging me oh my God, I can't believe it. I'm like, who is this?
Really?
Like,
You just
I'm
come in, do
really,
your job.
I come
leave.
in, do my job and leave. Yeah, it was great. It was so much fun. Everyone was so humble. There was only one person on set that brought their own glam team in. Won't name names.
I think if anyone is a fan of Selling Sunset, I think we could all guess.
Yeah, I mean, more power to them. They have their team. That's what they're comfortable with. That's awesome. That's great. You know, it's good to have clients who are loyal to you like that. I would love that, you know? But everyone was so freaking sweet. It was so much fun. They
You
were,
got to just do touch-ups on everyone?
yeah.
You got
Well,
to meet everybody?
I think there was only one person I did like a full makeup look on, and then the rest, it was touch-ups and grooming for the men. They were all so kind, but I just couldn't tell the twins who was who. So I was like, did I touch you up? I knew I kept asking one of them, did I touch you up? Like, I didn't know who I was working on. So to me, I don't like when men are really shiny. So I was like on top of it, but I kind of felt like I was being annoying because I couldn't tell who was who.
And they have their bald heads, which I'm sure get nice and shiny on
Yeah.
set.
Yeah. And that shoot actually went overtime. That was a fun shoot.
Oh.
Yeah, it was really fun. I enjoyed
So
it.
you don't watch Selling Sunset yourself?
No, I don't.
So, okay, there's a lot of drama on the show.
Oh God, I can't
In
do that.
addition to the real estate. I love it. We live for the drama. But did you notice a lot of like natural drama arising between people, or was everyone
No.
pretty chill and maybe they put it on a little bit like for the show?
Okay. I'm going to say this. None of them looked like they had drama. They all looked like they were amazing and sweet. But I also understand that reality TV is reality TV. Is that considered reality TV with drama? Real estate reality TV? I don't know. Don't sue me, but I get it.
Yeah.
You know, you got to put on a show.
Okay.
And maybe I'm so oblivious because when I'm in work mode, everything to me is noise. Like I don't pay attention except for what I have to do. So a lot of the times when there's drama around me, I do not pay attention. Everything, especially with NDAs, everything is one ear out the other.
Yeah.
You know, there's people in front of me. If they're having relationship problems, I'm one ear out the other. I don't pay attention. I'm not involved. I'm just a makeup artist over here. Like
You must hear so much tea though, even
So
though
much tea.
you probably drown it out, but you must
Yeah.
get to hear so much about people's personal lives.
yeah.
Do you feel that when people are in your chair, they think that you're their therapist? Because I
Yes.
hear a lot of hairstylists say, or hairstylists or like colorists and
Yeah.
things are. It's like people's therapy session when they go to get their hair dyed.
Yeah, I feel like I know a lot of things that if I were to ever say it, I'm getting sued for $20 billion. But, you know,
Yeah.
it is what it is. You just gotta. The thing about me too is even if I don't have a solid NDA agreement with you, in my mind, I have it for my clients. So it's not something that even needs to be in paper writing. I just respect my clients that much that I will never go and tell their business to anybody else. I know people who were, pregnant before they announced it. I know people who were doing X, Y, and Z before media found out. I will never, ever go out into the world and be like, who's this and this? Like, I'm not the person to sell your information to the tabloids.
Yeah.
I don't care. Like, it's not going to be me. And I don't want it to be me because that's messed up. I wouldn't want whoever is working for me or my assistants who know my personal business to ever go out and tell anybody. Granted, I give all of them an NDA, but
Oh my gosh.
But you when you want to build a solid clientele, you have to keep your mouth shut and it has to go through one ear out the other.
Yeah.
You cannot be the snitch. You cannot be, is that a nice word to use? I don't care, but that's what it is. You can't do that in this industry. This industry is so small. You got to protect your clients. And listen, I've had clients that are assholes to me, but I still protect their personal business. If people ask me, do I know anything about them? I say no.
Yeah.
I just do their makeup and that's all that I am.
You're very professional.
That's what
At
it
all
comes down
times.
to.
With TikTok and YouTube and all that, there are a lot of social media makeup artists.
Mm-hmm.
And it's so funny these days because people genuinely think that those are professional makeup artists, but there's such a big difference between someone who does it for social media and somebody who does it as a career. What are the biggest differences that you see when you watch a beauty tutorial on TikTok versus what you do as a professional makeup artist? What are the big, highlight mistakes or foundation mistakes or whatever that you see and you're like, oh my God, a professional makeup artist would never do that?
For me, number one is professionalism. I've seen them hire let's say, social media makeup artists to come onto set and they have no clue what the hell they're doing. That's number one thing. Number two, it's they are doing makeup on themselves and not on other people. And even when they're doing it on other people, they're doing it the same way they do it on themselves, which is not what you're supposed to be doing. Everybody has a different face shape. Everybody has different skin tones and different skin textures. So you can't always use this product on somebody because their skin is different, you know, depending on what that product is made up of. Also, a lot of these people don't study ingredients, so they don't know how it's going to be on the face after a few hours of it, you know, settling in. And the number one thing I dislike about this beauty community on social media is the moment they say they hate a product, that product is shit. That is the worst thing ever. This whole thing that happened with Bobbi Brown's about with the foundation.
Was that an Alex Earl thing, or was that something else?
You know, I don't know. Who's Alex Earl?
Oh, goodness. Are you even on the TikTok?
Listen, you know what? To me, it's like more power to these people. Everybody has a different way of making money. I'm all for it. I'm all for supporting other women. I'm all for supporting other artists and creatives. That is their art form. But me, as a person who's a working makeup artist, I will never be like, this product is crap. You know why? Because what works for me may not work for you, and what works for you may not work for me. So just because I dislike this product doesn't mean that you wouldn't like it. So why am I gonna crap on this product? And 99% of the times, allegedly, these people are getting paid to say a product is crap.
Oh.
Yes.
Because I know that people get paid to say that products are amazing, but I didn't know that they might get paid to.
Allegedly. Don't sue me.
Wow.
So and back then, brand deals used to be for working makeup artists. This is a big way we used to make money back then. Not anymore. We don't get those as much as we used to unless you're now a celebrity makeup artist.
Yeah.
So things that I would, if I was working, let's say 15 years ago, 20 years ago, I would be the type of artist that they would be giving brand deals to because I'm a working makeup artist and we're behind the scenes. But now because social media has taken over, those are the type of artists who get the brand deals. But the reason why I don't always agree with them is because they are getting paid allegedly to say a product is bad when it actually isn't. Though, like I go back to the, Bobbi Brown with the foundation. I'm wearing that right now.
Oh, really?
For my skin, where I have eczema, it's been one of the best products I've ever used. So I don't understand. Just because you don't know how to use a product because you're not a working makeup artist doesn't mean that product is bad. So that's where I'm iffy about the beauty community. And that's where I'm like, do I want to get into YouTube? Do I want to get more on TikTok? Because
people don't necessarily want to see what makeup artists actually do. They want to see, like, there's one girl on TikTok who does 7 pumps of foundation and rubs it with her hands.
Yeah, I recently saw that.
Meredith, I can't remember her name, Maxbury or something.
And she's so stunning. I'm just like...
She's super stunning. But she went viral because of her foundation technique. So you kind of have to be unique and weird and like do something super unconventional to make it on, as a beauty guru these days.
Yeah. And back then we didn't have to be on camera. I was the person behind the scenes. I was never in front of the camera until recently. Now I'm doing interviews and now I'm, on a TV show and
you're not doing makeup for the TV show. You're actually on the show. So what is your role, or what is the show about? Tell us everything you can about the show.
Yeah. So it's called Destination LA, and they basically, highlight people who have, known businesses in like LA, or mine is considered in like Beverly Hills. So they are highlighting my career as a makeup artist, which you'll be watching me do makeup and then kind of have a photo shoot after on my beautiful model named Stephanie, and my assistant was there, and also a photographer friend of mine was there. So they're filming me, and then I announced the opening of my charity, Durga Foundation. So I speak about my life, I speak about my career, and I'm just advertising my business. Destination LA, people.
Destination LA. So do you know if it can be streamed anywhere, or it's just cable television?
It's cable, it's on Roku, and it will be on IGTV.
So the final question I want to leave you with, which is what I am going to leave everybody with on this podcast. I just want to know how much first of all, I'll say I think I can answer this for you, but I want to hear it from your mouth. How much of your success do you attribute to being in the right place, right time, good luck, living in Los Angeles, anything like that? And what portion of it do you attribute to hard work and dedication?
Zero luck.
Zero luck.
Zero luck. Zero luck.
That's what I thought.
Actually, I was in my car today and just praying, and I was just like, I don't feel like I'm where I want to be, and I need to work harder. So none of it to me has been luck, because I've never been like, I'm here and I just got a client. Like somehow somebody found me. I was never scouted. I was never like, oh, hey, you're a makeup artist. Come work on so-and-so. And I've actually, here's some tea. I've actually had someone look at me and be like, you know, I never had to work as hard as you to get to where I'm at. And when that person said that to me, it broke me inside, because I was like, I never realized how hard I had to fight for my spot in this career, and how hard I'm still fighting for it, because that person just randomly came here, went somewhere and got signed. So for me, everything has been about hard work, determination, motivation, blocking out noise, and a good support system. And let me add this. It doesn't matter even if you have a support system, as long as you're willing to clap for yourself for when you win. And that's it.
Beautiful.
Yes.
Well, that is a lovely way to wrap this up, I think. Thank you so much for coming on. And again, socials, Tatiyana Elias.
Yes.
Everywhere.
Yes. TATIYANAELIAS.
Yes, there's a Y in there.
There's a Y in there. Listen, my mom made me and she said, I'm going to make her a little spicy.
A little unique. We love it.
Yes.
Well, thank you for coming on. It's
Thank
been
you
a
for
pleasure.
having me. Thank you for letting our relationship grow to what it has been. Thank you for being so humble. And thank you for always like contacting me whenever you have anything to be done.
You're the sweetest. All right, I hope you enjoyed today's episode with Tatiyana. That was very fun, talking everything makeup. And to wrap up the episode, I wanted to share with you guys, from a model's perspective, some things that make a makeup artist stand out to me. And these are like random things that you wouldn't initially think about. So one of the things is having body lotion, or, something to make your arms shiny, whatever. You would be surprised how many makeup artists only focus on the face that they're working on. And if a shoulder's in the shot or whatever, you're going to want something kind of shiny on there. So having a shimmer product available, whether that's like a highlighter or more of a, glowing moisturizer, that's really important. And also just hand lotion, because I am part of the dry skin club, and it's always nice when makeup artists have something to hydrate my hands before I go on set. Another thing is straws. Imagine you just worked so hard to get the perfect red lip on your model, and she goes and just drinks a cup of coffee and drinks the makeup away. Okay, makeup artists should always have straws in their kit. They can be like, wait, here's a straw, and the model can drink her drink with a straw without ruining her makeup. So that is a very random thing to keep in mind if you are a makeup artist and want to impress your client. The other thing is a friggin' leaf blower, or whatever those things are called. If you are a makeup artist, a lot of times you're going to be doing hair as well. Not in all situations, but in a lot. So I always recommend bringing one of those leaf blower things. I totally forget what they're called, but they're little handheld things to blow the hair. Hope you enjoyed today's episode. Signing off. Goodbye.